Hytale is unique for its complex and advanced combat system, featuring many different types of weapons, each of them having their own moveset and strategy. However, not all weapons are created equal. So I was curious, what's the best one and what's the worst one? And after talking to some people I know who are actually good at PvP, unlike me, I have come to the following conclusion. The best weapon is all of them. In Hytale, you are putting yourself at a disadvantage if you only stick to one weapon during a fight. The best strategy is the one of switching between weapons depending on which situation you find yourself in. For example, it's the same thing as if you're in Minecraft and you're fighting in melee combat. Some people prefer using a sword, others prefer using an axe, but the best strategy is using both of them. You use the axe for some heavy crit damage and to break the opponent's shield, and you use the sword for its speed and higher DPS. However, if we were to rank all the weapons individually, out of the 4 main melee weapons, those being sword, axe, mace, and daggers, this is the ranking. Number 1 is the axe. By far the best weapon if you can only pick one. Its high DPS paired with animation cancelling allows you to output an astonishing amount of damage. And its signature attack is great for clearing hordes of enemies with good AoE damage. Second place is the mace. It's basically an axe that deals a little bit more damage but is like twice as slow. It's good for the same reasons the axe is good. However, it struggles against more mobile targets as it takes like 2 cosmic eternities for you to charge up an attack with it. Third place is the sword, the only one-handed weapon on this list. Its main weakness is that its damage is just far too weak to be competitive, and its dash is the worst out of all movement techniques of all weapons, and you'll often find yourself in a worse place after you dash with the sword. However, since it is one-handed, you can still use a shield, which is great for saving up your stamina while blocking. And the worst weapon on this list are the daggers, which actually surprised me a lot because I constantly see people using daggers. But after thinking about it, daggers, which allow you to build up a high speed and are the most mobile weapon out of all of them, are only used as utility. They aren't used as weapons. You fight with your main weapon, equip the daggers to either run away or chase your opponent, and then you equip your main weapon again and continue fighting. So it's like you're using the daggers as a tool. The main reason daggers are so weak is because of their damage. If I just put a comparison on screen, you can see how much daggers fall behind on pure DPS. And what's even worse is that daggers have the shortest range out of all the weapons, so you have to be really close to your opponent if you want to fight with the daggers, which will just make you more susceptible to, well, their weapon, which will outdamage your daggers. But I disagree with that. I've always had a soft spot for daggers since they were first announced. I love their playstyle, and I want to prove to the world that they're not as weak as people think they are. Alright, let's see what we're working with. So, according to the wiki, daggers are a lightweight melee weapon, blah blah blah. Its slight attack, it begins a chain of 3 strikes. And it's significant that the final attack does extra damage. For its heavy attack, the daggers launch you into a forward lunge, which is its best move by far and is the thing we're gonna be abusing the most. And for its signature attack, it's kinda like a combo of strikes from various angles, which can deal a lot of damage if you manage to line it up. Alright, now that we know what we're working with, let's see how we can utilize it. If you made it this far, real quick, I just want to tell you to subscribe and like and everything. Okay, I'm not going to take up any more of your time now, back to the video. Slide cancelling is the most important thing to learn with the daggers, and not just in PvP. Every Hytale player should learn this because it's so helpful during traveling. It's gonna save you so much time. If you use this technique, you can basically infinitely dash with the daggers if you do it in the right way. So here's a quick guide, but you should watch a more detailed video on this, and this needs to be practiced a bit. First, you need to be walking forward, not running, because that will take up too much stamina. Then, look slightly up and prepare the lunge ability of the daggers, but just before it triggers, jump, so you can reach a higher distance. While in the air, switch from your daggers to another slot in your inventory and switch back. This will cancel the animation of you landing the lunge, and it will allow you to start sliding by holding shift. While keeping up the momentum you got from the slide, you simply prepare yourself to do this again. And you can keep repeating this as long as you like, as long as you can keep doing the chain of moves correctly. This helps out so much when traveling throughout the world. Luckily, I know this technique already, so I don't have to spend a lot of time mastering it. And it's not that useful in PvP if you're not in wide open areas, but it can come in clutch if you need to run away quickly. After lunging and hitting a target, you will be bounced back. However, if you turn around after being bounced back and start moving forward, you will create an even bigger distance between yourself and your opponent. If you can do this, you can potentially lunge at them, hit them for like 30 damage, and then bounce away to a safe distance, preventing them from doing anything unless they have like a bow or another ranged weapon. This is the most fun move in my opinion to use if you're a daggers main, and the most annoying thing to fight against. After practicing this for a long time, I was ready for... If you're a daggers player, you need to use every advantage you can get. And psychological warfare is simply the way you can achieve that. And this is not just me being funny, this is something you actually have to master. Because the lunge has one great weakness. You can see it coming from a mile away. So if your opponent sees you preparing to lunge, they can just hold up a block and completely negate your strongest and basically only attack that you'll be using. So since we can't really make the lunge faster, we can make it so that our opponents aren't sure when to block. There's not really a specific guide for this. You kind of have to figure out your opponent and use moves that will confuse them and make them unsure of what you're doing. Use the advanced movement of the daggers to jump around the map. Attack them from every which angle. Sometimes prepare a lunge and then cancel it. Make them doubt every decision they'll make. If you can master the skill of getting into the mind of your opponent, you may just make the daggers viable. As they say, I don't play the game, I play my opponent. Alright, now that we have finished all of this, let's see it in action.
Ocean man, take me by the hand, lead me to the land that you understand. Ocean man, the voyage to the corner of the globe is a real trip. Ocean man, take me by the hand, lead me to the land that you understand. Ocean man, the voyage to the corner of the globe is a real trip.
Alright, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed and learned something. And you know, I've never been good at outros, so